Hi guys, today I'm going to go ahead and lace up the wheel for the TS250, the front wheel. And before I even get started, I've kind of run into a problem. Actually, I started putting this together already, and I thought I was losing my mind. Things just weren't working out. And what I found out was the uh, rim that I got from uh, Thailand is the holes are smaller. So every time I tried, I could get 2 or 3 spokes in, and then I couldn't do it anymore. So I finally took it apart and measured the diameter of the hole here. And on the original, this is the original Suzuki wheel. They measured about 0.280, and on the Thailand wheel, it's actually it's Union Cycle, but I got them out of Thailand. I'm not real sure where they are. They measured 0.250, so about 30 thousandths difference. And I hate doing that because, you know, you take off the plating around the where the hole is there, and you can promote rust that way. But what I did was I went in there and just took a little artist brush and put a little silver paint in it, and hopefully that will help. I know that it's going to get scratched up a little bit while I'm doing this, but that's all I can do. I can't send them back to Thailand, and I just don't think it's going to matter that much. I've put 4 of these wheels on, 2 on the Yamaha AT1 CT1 and 2 on the Suzuki TC125, and I didn't have this trouble at all. And on the nope, all those were on the TC125. I replated the spokes and used the original ones, and on the Yamaha I had 2 NOS sets of spokes. These particular ones came from Buchcanan. I couldn't get the ones from Suzuki anymore, so, but needless to say, the holes were smaller in this rim than in the original. So anyhow, enough of that. Let me get rid of this thing. Now I've gone ahead and put the spokes in. These are all the inners. Let me show you. These are all the inner spokes. And what I do is I start out with, in this case, all the top ones. I try to get, this being the top, going this way, and all the bottom ones kind of going the other way. Most of the time you'll have to kind of maybe move one to get another one in or something like that, but it shouldn't be too bad. All right, now what I try to do is, right here is the valve stem. I'm going to start right there, and I'm going to go. Let me get you guys focused up here a little bit. Okay, hope you can see that a little better. Okay, my first move here is to just pick one. This one here is going to go into the upper hole on the left side of the. You got to remember to lubricate these things very good, because they will gall, and you'll never be able to get them tight if you do that. You'll just never be able to do it, because they'll go out, they'll go crazy on you and lock up. Okay, then I'm going to take, let's see here, I believe it's this one. You see they're all jamming up already, so that's going to happen. Now, you get this on the other side of the valve stem hole. And what you look for here is 1, 2, 3, and it's the fourth one. So you're gonna notice that when we're placing them into the rim too. This count 3 is going to be in between all of them, but you're going to be looking here instead of there once you get this in. Okay, so the next one, and here's where this comes up. We're going to go into the third one here. Okay, we've got, now this will be the bottom one, and you can tell which one. The way that the nipple holes angle, if it looks right, it's right. We're going to get this thing started, and I'm going to finish up the inside ones. I'm not going to make you watch this whole thing. But there again, our next one is going to be just like this one. The one that looks like it ought to go here, it's going to go there. And that'll be it's got to be a top one now. Try to keep those separated in your mind. Once you kind of get the first one, then it makes more sense. Actually, the first two. Yeah, this was just driving me crazy because anytime it was so tight and whole you couldn't hardly turn the nuts. So that was a big issue to start with. Okay, you kind of see how things are working here now, right? We had our first two, then we had two, then we had two. See how they're lining up every time? So let me finish putting these in, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, I've got all those in, and you can see a pattern here, I'm sure. We've got, well, let's get back to here's our valve stem hole. I've got one from this side and the other one from the other side coming in here, and that's the way it works all the way around. And between each spoke, it's 3 holes. It's the third hole, or you skip 2, however you want to look at it, all the way around. And now maybe I should go over what is an inside spoke and an outside spoke. Well, number one, they are on the inside. Now these have to go in first. If you try to put those in after, you're going to have to tear it back apart. They just won't go in. Now, I should have done this before, but if you look at this spoke right here, it's almost a 90-degree bend on the end of it. That is an outside spoke. And why is it an outside spoke? Because it has to, right here is your witness mark from the old spoke. When you put the new one in there, if I can get it in there. You want the next one to go right over the top of the old witness mark, the new one. And you can tell where it is, and that's how it's going to go. And then we're going to turn the other one over. If you had the other spokes, they do not quite make a 90. They're more up. So they go on the inside here. You won't be able to do it. You could probably do these on the inside, but don't do it. Anyhow, outside spoke, it's on the outside. Inside spoke, it's on the inside. You know, being in here, out here. So now it's pretty easy to see what you've got going on. And again, make sure you get your lube on. It just isn't going to work unless everything is lubed up. And you're not going to tighten anything until you get everything in. Then again, here's your witness mark. Lube. And you can tell where they go. They're the right length, and the direction of the hole is just, everything looks right. So don't be scared of it. Just get it in there and do it. Okay, I'm going to finish this up around there, and then I'll turn it over and we'll go through the other side too. Okay, I've got all these started over here. So now we'll flip it over and do the same thing on this side. Up, you see the witness mark, and it goes to where it looks like it ought to go. Okay, so you can kind of see what's going on, and I mean at this point they can only go in one place, so it's pretty self-explanatory. So let me go ahead and finish getting these in, and I'll bring you back when we get it in the truing stand. Okay, we got to get these bearings in so I can put it in the truing stand. So I'm not going to show you how to grease them. They're just grease them up unless you've got new ones. Let's see here. That's all the way down, and there'll be a seal on this side. I'll put that on here in a minute. I'll go ahead and get this other side in. Now you want to remember to put your spacer in. Goes in. This side has got a seal on the outside, just like that. going in a little bit harder. Maybe I'll use the hammer, real hammer. There we go. Okay. Wipe the excess off that one. And then on this side, we've got a seal on the outside, but I don't think I'm going to put it in yet. I'm going to wait till I true it, because my truing the cone that goes in here, I think, will mess with that. So I'll leave it out for now. Okay, now I'll bring you back when I get it in the truing stand. Alright, we got her in the stand here. I'm just going around and trying to get all the nipples tight, or snugged up, not tight. I'm just running those up until I'm about the same on all the threads on the spokes, where I'm just kind of covering the threads. That gives us a starting point. Okay, I've got it in the stand here, and I've got the nipples initially just finger tight, and you can see right here what we've got. So the first thing we want to do is pull over. We're not going to do too much tightening until we know it's good up and down, but I'm going to pull it over just a little bit here, and you can kind of see where it's starting to wobble this way. These spokes out here are going to pull it this way. We may have to loosen some of these over here, but right now we'll just see if we can get this to pull it over just a little bit. Still doing it, so we'll keep pulling it around here a little ways. You want to kind of split the difference. Try to pull some of the wobble to the left, and then try to loosen the wobble to the right and try to get it, so you're not just doing all the pulling on one side. So I've got starting right about there, so I'm going to pull a little bit on the other side. Not a lot. We're going to probably have to loosen some stuff here, but we're going to start by just trying to pull it. I don't think you can see what I'm doing there. Okay, so we've gotten some of that out right there. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of it. And again, we're pulling using these spokes out here. Maybe you just kind of creep up a little bit on both sides of it. Oops, that's not the one I wanted. There we go. Okay, so we're still close there. We need to come this way. starting about here. Let me move you here a little bit. This is where it starts going toward the left. So I'm going to use these spokes over here to gently pull it this way. Nothing's tight yet, so it's just snugging stuff up. See, it loosens a few things as we go along. If you start getting tight somewhere, you're going to have to loosen too. It's getting better, just slowly. So that's what we're going to continue to do until we get most of that out. And we also want to pay attention to up and down up here. We've got a little bit. Now, as I've said before, where the seam is, right here, you can see where the weld was ground down, you're always going to have a little bit of wobble there, and you're probably going to have a little bit of up and down that you won't be able to get out of it. So let me get back to it a little bit, and we'll see what we end up with. Okay, we've got everything kind of snugged up. Now you see the up and down that we have here. Wherever that comes up, we're going to have to tighten. Okay, there it's coming up. That's the worst of it right there. We're going to have to tighten the inside spokes to try to pull this down. So I don't know, I think my camera tripod here is at its very height. Well, maybe we can get a little more. Nope, that's it. So I'll do a little bit of this. Hopefully you can see what's going on. Anyway, when you get, okay, right there, that's kind of where it starts. So we're going to tighten the inside spokes to try to pull that down a little bit. Probably going to have to loosen some of the others on the opposite side. Generally speaking, the inside spokes control your up and down, and the outside spokes control the wobble. Okay, we're going to work at it for a little bit. Okay, we've got most of the up and down out. We're still going to work on it some, but I'm going to work on this here wobble right now. So you can see where that's where we got the closest. So I'm going to tighten this, a few of these outside spokes on the other side. Oops. My other tighten. A little better. getting wide here, so I'm going to tighten some of the outside spokes here. So it's coming in the line now. There's not a lot left. So I'm going to work on the up and down a little bit more. Okay guys, I think we've got her about as good as we're going to get. These old steel wheels aren't, it's just not the same thing as the aluminum ones that are extruded in one piece. These are actually made flat, bent, and then welded. So let me show you where we're at. First over the top, looking pretty good. Could be better, but that seam is kind of what's bothering me. It's just the way it works. And let's see here. Yeah, you can see my gauge block right there. Pretty darn good. Most of the wobble you see is that weld. All right, so that's the build-up of the front wheel on the TS250. I'll be getting to the back one here pretty soon. I'm not sure I'm going to show it, but anyhow, it's not that big a deal if you start out the way I explained it. Always have a starting point at your valve stem. That way you can always get back to it. You know you've gone around all the way around, and anything that you need to do, you can do it as you're going around. And a lot of those, like I say, the up and down is generally your inside spokes, and the wobble is generally the outside spokes. But they all play a part in it. So and at the end you need to have them about the same tightness. I just go along and make sure they sound about the same. Some people use a torque wrench. I don't, never have. I don't know that it's would do any better job. Anyhow, thanks for going along on the ride. See you next video.